TTC. I'm Dolphignition. Before I get started with this video, I just want to congratulate the Patriots on their win against Kansas City. I gotta be honest, I kind of picked you guys to win that game. I'm really not saying this just because I'm making this video right now and it's after the game is over. I literally did pick New England to beat Kansas City because, you know, they're just known to destroy winning streaks. And though Patrick Mahomes and the team really did prove they're the big deal, the New England Patriots proved that they're the strategy makers and they know how to tackle it. As a Miami Dolphin fan, that always sucks to always see the New England win. But hey, forget about them, Fin Nation. Let's take a look at us. Just like what I said in my previous video, we went in, we shocked the world by proving Chicago wrong. They had Khalil Mack, yet we still won. We had a backup quarterback, yet we still won. Nearly everybody doubted us, and they had every right to because everything was stacked completely against us. And yet, we came on top miraculously. Chicago proved in that game that they mean business, and shit, did they give us a run for their money. But Miami ran the Osweiler Marathon instead of that Tannehill sprint. I don't know about anyone else, but after the last two games, don't get me wrong, I'm still clinging to Tannehill, but I feel we would have lost if Tannehill was our quarterback for this game. Brock Osweiler has the stamina that kept this game strong, whereas I feel with Tannehill, it probably would have been something like the last two games. Hopefully he heals well, but while healing, I hope he also took notes during that game. But to be fair, I'm still questioning how the hell we won that game. Sources may say it's probably because of the humidity Sources may say that the humidity of South Florida might have been a clue to it all. I mean, this is Chicago. They're all up north. That D-line looked pretty fatigued towards the end of the game. I can't blame them. Miami is the southernmost franchise in the NFL, and the humidity isn't exactly comforting when playing any sport in that weather. But nonetheless, Gore delivered beautifully. Stills played magnificently. And last but not least, Kiko Alonso actually played great as well. I'm not a huge fan of Kiko Alonso, not after that ridiculous penalty in that previous Baltimore game where he did injure the quarterback. But this game, he did great. I would never expect out of all the players to make a mistake, it'd be Kenyon Drake. But that ball wanted to go places, and his hand was apparently not one of them. And yet, even after that mishap, we recovered beautifully and won the game. And the best part about this win is that there's no excuses for this result. It was equal game, equal opportunity. Bears should have won this game, but this game was a rare case of woulda, coulda, shoulda. But no dice. And here's the even worse part. They never got sacked once this entire game, and they still lost. How they're going to do against New England Patriots next week, even I worry. But I'll be wishing them the best of luck. Because, you know, I'm a fan of the Miami Dolphins and any team that beats New England. Now moving on to our next opponent, the Detroit Lions. I would say this is going to be another one of those games where this team will be put to the ultimate test before taking on New England at our house week 14 because of one man, Matt Patricia, former assistant coach of the New England Patriots and served that position for a good 14 years straight. Now, the head coach of this next team opponent. My fellow Fin Nation, if you thought Chicago was tough, we're going up against a team led by a man who has good knowledge and experience of how we play. So far, Detroit has lost badly to the New York Jets, and they have beaten the New England Patriots, both at Ford Field. Now they come to our house. So this ought to be a good game. But this is going to decide how far we can go. Because if we beat this team, I feel our Miami Dolphins are in for a bright future this season. But I'll go ahead and say this. Detroit, if you weren't coached by Matt Patricia, I wouldn't even be making this video. Because though we got slaughtered at Foxborough, and we gave up a 17-point lead at Cincinnati, I feel both our lines outmatch your lines. And our quarterbacks certainly outmatch yours. I'd even go as far to say both Tannehill and Osweiler are far superior than Matt Stafford. But this time, our chance to feel comfortable at facing the Lions are too little, too late, now that you guys have Matt Patricia. So hopefully, this is going to be a good game. And hopefully for you Lions fans, you guys will sometime in maybe the next 5 years make it to the Super Bowl. Seriously, I don't know if anyone has reminded you guys yet, but ever since New Orleans made it in 2009, the Detroit Lions are the only franchise in the NFC to not make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's go over all the NFC teams. We can already eliminate the NFC East because they're the first division to have all teams win a ring. So Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Redskins, they all made it. Sure, Atlanta blew a 25-point lead 17 years later than their first Super Bowl when they got completely destroyed by Denver in 1999. But they still made it. Panthers, they made it twice. Never won a Super Bowl, but they still made it. New Orleans, as we all remembered, made it and won. Tampa Bay made it. I don't know if it was 2003. It made them in 2003. Chicago made it. Green Bay, they won the first Super Bowl. Minnesota, they made it, but then they lost to us in 1973. Arizona made it, even though they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. They still made it. San Francisco, they made it 6 times. Seattle made it. And here's the funny thing. The Rams, both Los Angeles and St. Louis made it. But the Lions, what a shame. You guys are a different story. Will you guys make it to the Super Bowl before we have any of our teams from the AFC who haven't made it to the Super Bowl finally make it? I feel it could happen. So I'm just going to put this out there. As far as to any Lions fans who's a part of the TTC, as far as bragging history goes, don't even start in that regard. But as far as this game approaching now, knock yourself out. I'm taking it like Chicago. We'll let the game speak for us. We'll see if Matt Patricia's magic works in sunny Florida. And let's see if this team truly has what it takes. But boy, oh boy, I can't wait for this game. This is Dolphignition. Fins up.